We got Sean Payton ripping the Jets. What's happening, Jets fans? This is GreenBean here with a weird one. It didn't take very long for the Jets to get some haters. Yeah, we knew it was coming. Some real haters, not just Twitter haters. This makes it a little bit more fun. I am GreenBean. I am happy to have you back with me today. What a fun time it is for us Jets fans. And there's lots of real reasons to feel that way, but not as far as Sean Payton, the new head coach of the Denver Broncos, is concerned. Before we get into it, I do want to remind you, hit those there milk thumbs and give me that like button. That helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, it is greatly appreciated. And don't forget, you can save 15% on the world's greatest hydration multiplier, Liquid IV, by using the promo code GreenBeanJetsFan when you get to checkout. The link to the site is in the description to make it easy. Save yourself some cash and stay hydrated out there on these hot days. Guys, Sean Payton, could you imagine it? Who'd have saw this coming? Not me. I didn't see it coming. A few things go out there. We got some defense, some nifty retorts, but let's talk about what was said initially. Now, he's ripping Hackett, who is the former Denver Broncos head coach. We know he was the Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator with Aaron Rodgers. They had back-to-back MVP seasons with the offensive coordinator and quarterback duo. He goes and gets a head coaching job with the Denver Broncos. Terrible season. They trade for Russell Wilson, and everybody thought it was going to be great. It wasn't great, and they fired him after 14 or 15 weeks. And now they have Sean Payton. Sean Payton doesn't like what Hackett did over there. And he comes out and he says a few things. This is what he says, everybody. He says, "It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or organization gets embarrassed," Payton said. And that happened in Denver. Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much effing time trying to win the offseason. The PR, the pomp and circumstance, marching people around and all this stuff. Then he gets into the Jets. He said, "We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch. Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming. Remember when former Washington owner Dan Snyder put the dream team together? I was at the Giants in 2000. We're talking about 23 years ago. This is his reference point. Remember 23 years ago? I was a young coach. I thought, how are we going to compete with them? Deion Sanders there now. That team won 8 games or whatever. So listen, just put the work in." Okay. So there's a bunch of stuff wrong. We're not done with what he said, but let's just stop for a second. First, again, we're talking about 23 years ago. Now, the dream team I remember being a big deal. The Washington Redskins of 2000, it wasn't necessarily the dream team. We had Brad Johnson at quarterback. I think he threw for 2,500 yards. It was more about the defense, right? We had some big names. An old Deion Sanders, he was 33 or 34 years old. We had a 37-year-old Bruce Smith, who still got 10 sacks, by the way. I just add, that guy was built different. We had Marco Coleman, Big Daddy Wilkinson, and those is Dana Stubblefield. So there was a collection of guys on the defense that were really exciting. Offense, not really so much. Again, Brad Johnson, he was a good quarterback, but solid, right? Journeyman type of a guy. Supposed to be something big up there in Minnesota for a while. He's a good quarterback, but, nothing, never MVP or anything like that. So there's that. You're referencing a team that it's like, I don't even know what we're doing here that to compare to that. That said, Hard Knocks and all that. You watch. We are going to watch, number one, Sean Payton. Thank you very much. We'll watch. But nobody wanted this friggin' show here. Do you pay attention at all? We weren't parading people around trying to get Hard Knocks. Come look at us. It was quite the opposite. If you recall, Hard Knocks, HBO, NFL Films, the NFL, took forever to announce who it was because nobody wanted the damn show. They forced it on the Jets. And it's been said by Adam Schefter and many others, this is going to be the least access that NFL and Hard Knocks ever get for a training camp and for the show because the Jets, quite frankly, don't want them there. They're not going to show guys getting cut, all sorts of different things. It's going to be a very different show. It's kind of the opposite of parading around pomp and circumstance. All we did was trade for a quarterback and bring over some of his players. I mean, that's about it. The difference, too, is that this team is largely built. Top 5 defense, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, AVT, lots and lots of guys already here on both sides of the ball. We're just adding a few guys because we were missing a few pieces. I mean, it's very, very different. Then he comes out and he says this. This is really bad. This is bad. This is where it gets bad. Everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. Not Adam Gase, right? You could throw your stones, man. You know, there's places for your stones to land, okay? The worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was. So interestingly enough, Billy Turner, who was on that team last year, offensive lineman. We hear about him in training camp. Now he's with the New York Jets, comes from the Green Bay Packers and the Broncos before that. But he's been with Hackett a few years, followed Hackett from Green Bay back to Denver. He says very, very nice things about Hackett. He's one of his best friends. He's one of the greatest people he's ever met. Aaron Rodgers said similar things. But this is what he puts out there. He puts out, seems like someone started training camp and is trying to soften the blow after realizing what he's in for this season. Fucking bum. That's what he said. Hashtag Bountygate, hashtag childish. And truth is, I agree. I mean, what is that? What are you doing? Like, clearly there's something, like, not only is he mad at Hackett. All right, you left me a shit show. Okay, all right, fine. But you still don't go to the press with it. In my opinion, my professional take. But then it's like the Jets, like where Hackett got, he's got all these feelings. He's a lot of feels. He's stuck in his feels over there. Now, the good news is that Robert Saleh was asked about this too. Robert Saleh just flat out said, what we have going on here, I kind of live by a saying. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. There it is. The haters are going to come. The haters are here. They're gathering around. They're throwing their sticks and their stones trying to break our bones. But don't worry about it because it's all good. We play the Broncos October 8th, and it's going to be something. You know we're going to have plenty of bulletin board material. Now, if we're 0-7 going into it, it's going to be a different story. But if we're rolling, which I think we have the potential to do, we're going to go in there and we're going to bloody up some Broncos, and we're going to do things like stare at Sean Payton and all those kinds of things maybe. But I say maybe a 45-zip drubbing is in order. That's the way to answer it. You don't say a damn word. You just, like Sean Payton said, put in the work. Looks like the Jets are putting in the work. What do you think, guys? Any truth to this stuff? Are we pomp and circumstance, hard knocks? Are we parading our guys around? Is it a bad look? Or are we just a good damn team that happens to be practicing really hard and everybody's excited about it? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear what you say. And with that all said, go Jets.